Bills went from being like they laid a couple eggs in the past. Like
you're allowed a few of those.
You're allowed a few of them.
But you think they went down to Jacksonville and like if we just show up, we're gonna win?
Probably.
That's the mentality. Oh, Urban Meyer.
I mean, their defense played. I mean, you let up 9 points. You can't be mad at yourself about that. But when your offense puts up 6, when you have Josh Allen, who's been balling for the first part of the season, and you only put up 6 points, you got to go back to the drawing board and figure something out. They got the Jets coming up. If they take the same mentality that they did against Jacksonville, then we're gonna, be a happy time for me. I'll tell you that much.
Hopefully it was a wake up call for them.
I think they have your Jets this weekend. But if Mike White's healthy, you don't know what happens.
Mike White is a big. Oh my God.
No, but like here's the thing, right? If they lose to the Jags,
I want to marry Mike White. Yeah, if they
lose to the Jags, then how the hell can they not lose to Mike White? Or it might be Zach Wilson.
If Mike White plays the way he played against, we'll get to that one. If Mike White plays the way we'll start with
against Cincinnati,
giant
against even the way he played against the first part of the Colts game, he was balling.
His last throw was a touchdown. And then he got hurt.
That was the most Jets thing ever. The second we get a bit of hope and a bit of, oh my God, this guy might have something here. I don't even know what it was. I just saw him on the sideline.
Yeah,
I think he lost feeling and how does that even happen? With nerve damage? He's the first player to get nerve damage in a play in like the history of the NFL.
I don't know how that happened. To be honest with you.
But
the whole week they're like, this is the Tom Brady thing. The kid gets hurt. They throw in this random backup, lightning in a bottle. But then he balls out the first, like, do they go 3 or whatever?
The first 2 drives.
They were good.
Very good.
And then he hurt his forearm.
But our offense wasn't the problem that game. No. Well, this is old news, so I'll be quick. But our defense could not stop Jonathan Taylor.
Like 140
could not stop.
He is a top 5 running back in football.
Yes, easily. No, come on. The way he played.
The whole first half of the season has been crap.
No, but they have Johnny. I'll say this. They and trust me, I hear it all the time from the Lock boys who are diehard Colts fans now. They said they ain't giving him the ball. They like Carson Wentz throwing left-handed, for crying out loud. What is that? Carson Wentz is good, as talented as he is, sometimes just has brain farts. And apparently Frank Reich goes sometimes to him and is like, you call the play at the line. So they probably have runs scheduled, but then Carson Wentz like, nah, I'm going to make something out of nothing. And usually nothing goes to even worse.
Brain fart is definitely the word, because I've seen some play. He had a shovel pass a couple weeks ago, and that was just atrocious. That should not have been thrown. Kind of like you look at there was one of Jordan Love's picks. He was like falling, and he still got rid of it.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt Stafford too on Sunday Night Football. Yeah,
he's getting. That's what I was thinking. There's just some.
Yeah.
Just keep the ball. Keep the ball. Don't try throwing it, because you're throwing it when you're getting tackled. It's going to get picked up. And it got picked up. And you look at this, and you're like, that was the biggest bonehead move I've ever seen. If Carson Wentz does that once against the Jets, it's over. He just handed the ball off.
They were smart.
And
they have one of the best.
Smart, but they still gave up 30 points to a third-string quarterback. Josh Johnson.
Well, the backups.
Where were you going to gap? The Jets have so many damn backups that can play.
Joe Flacco. We even had him. We didn't even use him yet. So
can't wait to see him, man.
Which Joe Flacco? Yeah, they brought in Joe Flacco. Then Mike White balls out. Imagine, Joe, we got to buy you out. Sorry, Joe. But then he gets hurt. They're like, never mind, Joe. Come back.
Because there's going to be a lot of pressure on the Jets to play Zach Wilson, and rightfully so, because you drafted him second overall.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, I'll get your advice on this. If you're in the in their shoes, you're at this point. You're 2-6. Are you playing the best guy, or are you gonna work? Because right now you're in a point where you're probably not gonna. You're probably not even gonna make the playoffs. You're probably not gonna make.
Probably not.
Most likely
not. Okay, all right. We get it. We're not gonna make the playoffs. Are you?
No, it's not mathematically impossible.
No, absolutely not. But the way things are going,
you got.
But is there some? Are you saying, okay, let's salvage what's left of the season. Let's play the better guy, or are you gonna say, all right, let's cut our losses. Let's get Zach Wilson comfortable.
I know what I'm doing. I'm starting Mike White next game because Zach Wilson. They said 2 to 4 weeks. It's been 2 weeks. So you say we're not comfortable, even if he's ready to play. You're like, no, we want you to be healthy. See if this Mike White guy can still ball out. And if Mike White throws for 300 and something yards, or God, he throws for 400 yards again, what do you do? Like, what do you do? And then honestly, if Robert Saleh is a smart guy, he would do the Belichick approach and say, I don't care where you were drafted. I don't care what we gave up to get you here. We're playing the best guy available. And it's kind of like, again, bring up Carson Wentz, the Carson Wentz, Nick Foles thing. If you look, Carson Wentz was the second pick in the draft. They gave up all these assets to get him, but for some reason, when they put Nick Foles in that football team, they played better. I don't know what it is, but you take him to a combine, I bet Zach Wilson can outthrow the hell out of Mike White. But for some reason, with the Jets offense, Mike White just fits. I know it's the smallest of sample sizes.
I'm on the complete opposite side of you guys on this.
You think you're trading away Mike White?
Who the hell is Mike White? That's my question.
Well, Mike White's in the Hall of Fame after one game.
He has his jersey's in the Hall of Fame.
I want to hear his
Come on.
My opinion, right? You drafted this guy, Zach Wilson, right? He's your QB of the future. Sure, your backup goes off, has a good game, good half a game, whatever. But you can't count on that. Even if he goes this week and scores 300 yards.
I'm not saying trade Zach Wilson now. I'm saying next game I'm starting Mike White.
Well, if he's hurt, it's one thing. If he's still recovering, okay, put in Mike White. But if he's healthy, if he says he can play, you let him play. You have to trust your quarterback, especially at this point when they're 2-6. This guy, Jets have been crap for years. This guy is here to turn the franchise
10-5
around.
In 2015. So not
Mike White has the same. Listen, Mike White has the same amount of wins as Zach Wilson, and he's played one game.
Correct.
All right.
But that game, you could argue that it's because the defense was not. They didn't know how he would play. There's no game tape on him before. Because who the hell is Mike White?
I think if Zach Wilson plays against Cincinnati, I think they get blown out. That's just a fact. With this Mike White, it was just for some reason the team liked playing with Mike White better. And it wasn't like Cincinnati, where it's a bad football team now. The way they just came off hammering Baltimore. Mm-hmm. Now, albeit that they take the Jets lightly, kind of like a Buffalo going down to Jacksonville, perhaps. Perhaps. But we saw him the first two drives of the next game, and he looked great.
Yeah.
He looked great. Now, I'm not saying trade Zach Wilson away.
I know you're not.
But as of right now, I think you got to play this guy and see if it keeps going. What if he throws...
The way I see it, this season's already a write-off. Okay? And
I don't.
Okay, my bad. Well, that's just me.
You know what? If this is the NFC, they were still out of chance.
But the thing is, the first season for any QB, like any rookie QB season, is always more or less a write-off. There's some exceptions for sure, but that first year, it's them getting used to the offense, getting used to the NFL, getting used to how the defenses work, how the offense works, right? You let Zach White, you give him the year. Sure, you keep Mike White. I'm getting these mixed up. But you keep Zach Wilson, you play him. Yes, thanks, Tommy.
MW, I got you.
Much appreciated. You let Zach Wilson play. Mm-hmm. You give him the keys to the offense for the rest of the season. Maybe he shits the bed. Maybe he doesn't. Then you go next season. You see how they do in the offseason. You compare them. Then it's when you start manipulating, saying, okay, maybe Mike White deserves to be the starter over Zach Wilson. But right now, it's too early in Zach Wilson's career. It's too early in Mike Wilson's career. You have to stick with the game plan set
Mike White
this season.
Mike Wilson, he's a new player.
You know what I mean.
No, right? Johnny, I know exactly what you're saying. And if I could just add my 2 cents.
Yeah, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. Zach Wilson's the guy. He's their guy. They put a lot of money behind him, and he's there. He's right now. We believe that he's their future. But that's not to say that you don't want. He's injured, right? He's injured right now.
For sure.
They said, like Tommy said, 2 to 4 weeks. If you're placing that much importance on this guy, you want him to go on and do great things. The last thing you want to do is to rush him. Because if you could throw him in next week against the Bills, and he gets it re-injures himself, and he's had another 8 weeks, then forget it. So I think right now you want to start Mike White, see if he goes 400 yards again. Clearly this kid's
Johnny.
Not
imagine that. What if they put him in against Buffalo and he goes for like let's say 330 and like 3 touchdowns? What do you do, Johnny? What do you do?
I can see that being as likely as going 12 for 32 with 3 picks. You know what I mean? I could see
100%.
It's the same
but
thing.
I think with Zach Wilson ain't going to light the world on fire. No, but I saw him, Zach Wilson, albeit maybe it was the worst game of his career. When he played New England, it was Sam Darnold that Monday night reincarnated. He threw 4 picks, not even close.
For sure.
Not even close.
When you get smoked,
people like to throw up.
When you get smoked.
Yeah.
And
I have beef with Chris Sims, by the way. Chris Sims, saying Zach Wilson was the next Patrick Mahomes. Fair enough. But then this week, I was listening to the podcast, and he was ripping on poor Mike White for throwing 2 interceptions. If you watched the game, Chris, they should have been caught.
What show is Chris?
He's on like football, NBC. He's on the NBC pregame, and he has like his little iPad. Oh, I play. Yeah, you played, but you sucked. And he said Tom Brady was washed 5 years ago. Wrong. He said Aaron Rodgers was washed. Wrong. Maybe he didn't say that. But he said Tom Brady was washed. He also said Kansas City would blow out Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. Wrong. Then he also had Zach Wilson as the highest graded quarterback in this draft. Yeah, and people ripped him for it. And then he's like, you guys are going to see. Now, Poor guy couldn't even give Mike White credit. What's wrong with giving Mike White credit?
Nothing wrong with that.
But no, but this guy, he's like, I don't know. It was just a cluster of errors, And I'm like, Chris Sims, shut the fuck up. Give this guy some credit. He's thrown probably for more touchdowns in a game than Zach Wilson has ever thrown.
Mm-hmm. No,
it's not like it's not like he's a veteran. It's not like Ryan Fitzpatrick. It was his first start.
Right.
His jersey's in the Hall of Fame already.
I saw that same thing that you're talking about, and I had the same exact reaction. The first thing I heard him say that stood out to me was talk about his 2 picks. The 2 picks
were not his fault.
First of all, they were not his fault at all.
Not his fault at all.
They were tips. So those 2 picks, you can forget about those because when you throw 2 picks, even if those picks were some of the worst, dumbest picks ever, when you throw for 400 yards and you get the win, those picks are irrelevant.
For sure, 100%.
They're irrelevant. They might affect the QBR, but overall, irrelevant.
And all I say, Chris Sims might be a very nice guy, and he's probably a very nice person, but his football takes recently, I don't know what's been going on. And then on Sunday Night Football, he's like, I don't see how Tennessee wins this game. And what happened, Chris? What happened? He's just lucky his dad's played for the Giants and played with Lawrence Taylor and got 2 Super Bowls. And he played in the NFL for like 100 teams, and he got hurt.
But,
But I like Chris Sims, you're probably a very nice guy. Hope you come on the show. But Mike, if you're watching, but oh my god. But getting back to it, my last thing on this is, if he starts playing well, like consistently playing well, why would you can't switch it up. Like, you don't want to ruin the guy's confidence. I would wait. I would legit, if this guy starts balling out, shut Zach Wilson down. Wait till the season's over and then talk it with your guys.
I completely disagree with you, Tommy. My last point on this.
I'm not even a Jets fan, but I want this guy to do well. Maybe because they ain't playing New England for the rest of the year. But I want to see Mike White do well. I really do.
The way I see it, man, it's just football. Obviously, you could argue it's almost as mental as it is physical, right? Yeah. And imagine you're Zach Wilson. You get drafted. You know it. You're going to not a great team. Sorry, Gav. But it's your job to turn this franchise around. Sure, it's a slow start. But then all of a sudden, you get hurt. They throw the backup in and wins the game, and your starting job is up in the air. That kills your confidence, right? Especially if he gets benched the rest of the season. If Mike White plays great and then they give him back the starting job, that shoots it right back up again because the team is telling them, we trust you, we think you are our future.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
But you're gonna tell me if Mike White plays like he did against Cincinnati, against
care.
Buffalo,
don't even care.
You don't stick with him?
No. You go back to Zach Wilson. Then you let him fight it on the offseason. But you leave Zach Wilson for now.
That's not bad. Because you want to be set, and you don't want to have anything up in the air. Mm-hmm. Zach Wilson's your guy, then he's your guy.
At least
I think that sends the wrong message, though.
I can get that, but that also sends the message. Let's say I'm a wide receiver and I get drafted by the Jets. I say, well, I'm their first-round draft pick. I don't really have to work because clearly they're playing Zach Wilson, who's stinking it up right now. I'm not saying he is, but hypothetically, he's stinking it up right now.
And we have Tom Brady Jr.
But he's playing, and the better guy's on the bench. So that could send, like Tom was saying, a bad message to say, maybe, it's not necessarily about your work ethic or your skill, but about your status going into the team.
That's the main thing.
That is a very important part of football. You say first-round pick is a starter. That's the way it should be.
There are definitely two.
I don't want to crap on you, Johnny, but I feel like most teams who do I feel like most teams who do that.
It doesn't have to be crappy. You just offer.
My disagree. I feel like that sets up a bad culture because you want your guys to give 100% all the time.
Yeah,
for sure.
And if this guy who's John Elway reincarnated, running around throwing.
He's played 6 quarters.
No. We're not saying no.
Great quarters.
Not even 6 quarters.
He had 4.
He played New England the second half of the game. We didn't see anything there, but it wasn't like the Cincinnati game.
Glimmer of hope. He threw for 1 touchdown.
That's very true. But here's the thing, Johnny. But what happened? But what message, like was Gav saying, does that send to everyone else? We're just giving royal treatment to the guys who were picked ahead of you.
We trust our players. We trust. Sure, I'm not saying you're ditching Mike White. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you ditch him, but you don't just give him the job because I have one good game.
No. I'm not saying
no, for sure.
Because Zach Wilson's probably not going to play Sunday.
Well, if he's not playing because he's
hurt,
that's one thing. But if he says, I'm ready to go, he's cleared by the doctors, he should play.
Okay.
100%. Even if he stinks it up, because I don't think Mike White is going to ever replicate his first game against Cincinnati. Never, ever again.
I have a question. What do you do if they put Zach Wilson back in and he stinks up the joint like he has been? Then what do you do?
then it's a different discussion. I don't know. Maybe you go with Mike White, maybe not. But I still think.
But do you bench? You don't bench him, but by your standards.
Zach Wilson for the rest of the season. I think you start him every game.
Because at the same
injuries.
time, it's really a psychological game,
right?
Like you're saying, very mental.
On the Jets.
Because it's a hot topic.
It is for sure. But the fact that if I were to tell you, Gav, when you drafted Zach Wilson. That possibly that we're talking halfway through the season would be like, hey, who's White. Zach Wilson? This is Mike White's team.
No,
and Johnny's gonna pass out thinking about this.
No, just like my last point, very psychological. You don't want to give Zach Wilson the impression that he's no good so early in his career. Right. You don't want to say, well, I balled out at BYU and I come here. And the backup's in now. I didn't even last a full season. And you look at guys, Trevor Lawrence is starting, and he's having a somewhat decent of a rookie campaign, just beat the Bills. You look at Justin Fields, Joe Burrow, he's in his second year, and already he's a stud.
Mac Jones.
Intentionally injuring people. I'm not going to mention that.
Oh, yeah, he thought he had the ball. He thought he had the ball.
So you twist his ankle? What do you want, a playground?
That's a likely excuse.
That's a legal play.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that makes perfect
the
sense.
UFC, continue.
Yeah, but it's legal. Yeah, exactly.
You're all hating because we're over 500.
Okay.
Sorry, Gavin,
about 500.
Before I was so rudely interrupted by the mention of, honestly, a criminal. He's a criminal because he's trying to hurt people purposely. He looks around him and he's like, I can't even start on one of the worst teams in the league. That sends a very bad message to him early on in his career. So you want to keep him comfortable. You want to keep him playing. But at this stage, the season's not over yet. You can't roll over. You got to play the better guy. You got to play. So if Mike White is
I get that.
If Zach Wilson's not ready on Sunday, which I don't think he's obviously Mike White's, but even if he is, I say you give Mike White another go. You want to have a few more weeks of practice under Zach Wilson. Now I don't want to take any more of your time with the Jets.
I'm gonna make my last point.
point.
I think there's another aspect. The aspect of how Zach Wilson was their number one pick. They drafted him, right? They made the decision to draft this guy. You have to defend that decision somehow.
No, right? For sure. Because then Joe Douglas looks like an idiot.
Exactly.
So it's also
or he's a genius for finding Mike White.
No.
Yeah, or that. But I feel like it's going to lean more towards the idiot for picking drafting.
And I hate to tie this back to New England again, but I'm going to. But when Drew Bledsoe was the quarterback, they gave him he was the highest paid quarterback in football, and Belichick said, when he got hurt, and when Bledsoe came back and was ready to play. New England was playing well with Tom Brady. Belichick's like, nope, sorry. We're starting Tom Brady. We're playing well with Tom Brady. We're going to keep going with Tom Brady. It turned out to be a pretty darn good decision. I'm not saying Mike White's Tom Brady. But if this guy plays Sunday and he balls out again, you can't bench him. How can you bench him?
Man, context.
You can't keep
Bledsoe
a guy
wasn't
like that.
just drafted. Right, Benzo has been playing for years. Now he's hurt. He's on the down end of his career.
It is
the exact opposite.
Yeah, this is definitely different because you have the future of your career, because you can make a move. If you play Mike White and then Zach Wilson is benched for the rest of the season, he could be like, well, screw this, I want to trade, go somewhere else and have a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
Or on the flip side of the coin, Mike White could say, I'm too good to be sitting on the bench. Go to a team that's
if Mike White balls out again, there's going to be teams who want him.
Is there though?
Yeah.
Who realistically would want him?
Teams are desperate. Teams
are very desperate even for a backup to have a solid.
Okay, let me ask you this.
After a backup QB.
Let me ask you this.
At this point in the season.
Let me ask you this. What about Detroit? It's not a good quarterback class. Awful quarterback class. You're going to stick with Jared Goff and what you've seen
over Mike White? Yeah. I don't know what to tell. I don't know what to tell.
Well,
Jared Goff is atrocious.
Mike White,
he's atrocious.
Let's regroup in about.
Has Jared Goff in the last 2 years had a game like Mike White's had in his first game?
Maybe that 1 year.
With a one game against Kansas City on Monday Night Football. That was it.
But not many quarterbacks in general have had games like that.
No, but we've seen Jared Goff, and he sucks.
Sure, he's horrible.
He's horrible. So what does it hurt? So
are you going to give up more assets to get someone who knows?
But you're not going to give up the first. No, he'll go for the Jets are going to get 3 firsts for him.
No.
They're going to get. You give a 4th rounder or a 3rd rounder. You're not giving the number 1. I'm not saying you trade the number 1 overall pick for Mike White. I'm not saying.
But he's going to want to leave, and teams are going to be welcome to take because anyone. a guy. He's a quarterback. He's not gonna put up those numbers every single game, but he can get you a first down when you need it. He's a decent quarterback. He has good checkdowns. Like, he's not, from what we've seen. This is very very premature. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does against the Bills. If he were to play, like you said, if we're in charge, Tommy, Mike White's getting the football.
Or what about Carolina? Darnold's not seen to be working. What if you're like a New Orleans?
Okay,
what do we like? I'm just saying.
We're looking at hypothetical landing positions for a hypothetical.
No, I'm saying no. I'm saying right. You're obviously, let's say Mike White absolutely balls out, and they stick at the end of the year. You know what? We took this guy number 2 overall. We have to stick with him, and they let Mike White go because teams are going to want Mike White if he continues to play just as an average quarterback.
If the Jets
Johnny, there's not a lot of good quarterbacks in the NFL. Isn't. There's a lot of mediocrity.
Sure, but teams aren't going to move on from them. I feel like there's really, like, Detroit, sure, I can see how they might want to move on from Jared Goff, but everyone else, like, really, like, what are they? They're not going to ditch who they have for a backup Jets QB.
Now.
Even if he goes off and averages 400 yards a game the rest of the season.
I think they would.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I mean, look what happened with
if he keeps up what he's doing, he'll get a job. He'll for sure get a starting job. Maybe the Jets job, for crying out loud, and they trade Zach Wilson away.
If he puts up, okay, let's say
400 a game is not realistic.
No, of course. Let's say, because he'd be my Madden character. Let's say he plays 3 more games this season, and then Zach Wilson's good to go, and then we go the rest. He plays 3 games and he puts up more than 250 yards average in each game. Some games better, some games worse. I think he gets a job at a struggling team. If he enters the market, if he says, I don't want to resign, I don't know how long he's with the Jets for. I'm sure.
No, but teams are going to call.
But teams are going to call and they're going to say, Joe, I like what I see here. I'll offer you a 3rd round and, that's
a lot. I would say like a 5th.
Yeah,
honestly.
Okay, sorry.
I don't. He can get a bidding war going versus Mike White. No, but like, I'm just saying, like the whole. Remember Nick Foles after Philadelphia, Jacksonville needed a quarterback.
Yeah, look how well that turned out.
Well, I'm not saying that, but there's teams that are interested.
But
how to work with Carson Wentz?
Look at the Panthers, right? Teddy Bridgewater was amazing on New Orleans.
He went to Carolina.
Right, got him the job on Carolina, and then now he's on
Denver. He's been better with Denver than Carolina.
Right, but like it's the thing is, just sure he had 4-2 with New Orleans, great, but he didn't do anything after that. He had a couple of good games. Okay, defenses got used to him. He didn't play as well. He went back to reality. Mike White it's not.
No, we're not saying that, but like
it's food for thought. Mike White, obviously, we're not saying he's the next Tom Brady because
I hope not. Tommy compared him to him not that long ago.
But it's just because the Jets have had garbage for such a long time. We're finally making headlines for something that's not a butt fumble.
White lightning.
Where the New York Post is we don't know what to do. We're so used to saying we're so sad. Yeah. This is the first time the Jets see something promising, and it's not from their main. It's not from Zach Wilson. It's not from their go-to guys. So it's really putting people in.
But
absolutely. Last point.
False hope is worse than real hope. That's all I'm saying.
For sure.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, so Johnny's he's taking the back seat here because he doesn't want to.
Gav, I'm rooting for the kid. I really am because it's a good story. It's just like
no one is rooting for him more than I am.
Yeah, it's a good story. But if he continues the ball out, man, the Jets got a decision to make because he's not that. He's in his 20s. Even if he's 26, if he, I just can't see a world where they get rid of Zach Wilson. I agree with you. Yeah, but if the kid's playing well, you just keep playing him to get that trade value up. Not saying you're gonna get a first rounder, but
it's also you put you keep playing him, get him play time, get him tape. So by the time he hits the market, you're not looking at a 5th round anymore. You're looking at maybe
you're not getting. I don't see them getting a top 3 round pick for Mike White. As crazy as that sounds.
Very early. Okay, it's very early.
But New England got a 2nd for Garoppolo, so you never know. You can get a 2nd if he keeps playing well.
I mean, maybe.
I know that's a lot.
That's a big 2nd round pick for.
Mike White.
Who the hell is Mike White?
Okay.
White Lightning.
Who the hell is Mike White?
White Lightning. At the bottom of this thing, I'm going to put it as White Lightning.